everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am currently going to be using this format for future channels. It may change again in the future, but this is what I want to do for right now. So, welcome. We're going to be covering a Healthline blog which is titled How to Help a Depressed Friend. This was kind of something that I've wanted to talk about for a while. So let's jump right into it. First, it starts off as explaining some symptoms of depression, so you can kind of just be aware of that. A couple of these are just feeling sad, feeling guilty or worthless, low energy, and of course the talk of death and suicide. They always have to throw that one in there. What this blog does is it gives, I think, 15 things to do or not do, trying to help them overcome their depression. And the first one of things to do is listen to them. Listening to someone with depression is very important. A lot of people who have depression don't really talk about it. And when you're sitting there and you want to listen to them, it gives them that kind of at ease feeling. So that's a very good point. The second one is help them find support. Now this one is kind of iffy because a lot of people with depression don't want to find help. They just kind of want to be left alone. So it's very up to the individual that has depression to want to find that help. And if they ask you to help them find support, that is 100% okay at that point. Don't try to go out of your way to help because they're not a project for you. The third one is support them in continuing therapy. Like I said in the last point, a lot of depressed people don't want to go into therapy. They just want to be left alone with their feelings, and that's perfectly fine. It's whatever they want and whatever they feel more comfortable with. But if they do decide to go into therapy, this is a very good point. You always want to sit there and listen to what they're going through if you want to be a support. Number 4 is take care of yourself. This is a very important point for the support, that they can't let themselves be eaten by the depressed person and allow all those feelings to be their own. They need to take care of themselves. They need to be their own person and not just help them all the time. They're their own person too. The 5th one is learn about depression on your own. If you want to be a support for a depressed person, then this is a very good idea. Of course, it's not like mandatory or anything, but if you go out by yourself and learn about, symptoms and what can help and everything that you can about depression, then it will make the person that you're trying to support feel a little bit more comfortable with your help. Number 6 is offer help with everyday tasks. This is important because a lot of everyday tasks are very taxing to people with depression. There are some times where personal hygiene is tough for them to overcome. Like their dishes may pile up or laundry may not get done. It would be helpful if you just take a minute and you be like, hey, why don't you, or why don't we do this together and make it a team effort? That way they have a little bit of that burden off of their shoulders. Number 8 is extend loose invitations. When you want to invite a person with depression to like a party, like an outing or a dinner party or whatever, you have to kind of expect for them to not come, because going out can be very hard for the person that you want to support. It's always, when you're inviting someone, it's always good to just be like, hey, I know you don't really feel good, but I want to give this invitation to you. You don't have to come if you don't want to, but we'd really appreciate if you did. And make it seem like there's no hard feelings if they don't go. Because people with depression want to feel included. They want to join in on activities, but sometimes it's just very hard for them to get up out of bed. And it's not just because they want to be mean, it's just that they're going through some shit. You always want to be loose with someone you're trying to support. This kind of goes into the last one. It is be patient with them. Whether they're going through, just a sour time, or they're grieving, or this is just how they are, you want to be patient with them, because it's not going to be a thing where they just wake up one day and they're all cured, even though they've been feeling really good recently. Number 9 is stay in touch. Staying in touch with someone with depression is key to not only having a relationship with this person, but to let them know that you still care. Even if they don't text back or call back or answer the door, just let them know that, you're thinking about them and you care about them. It can be very hard to do sometimes because, they're not always the most positive. So being positive about the relationship is what makes them see that maybe this relationship is something to maintain, and that they're gonna try even though it's a little hard. Number 10 is know the different forms of depression. Now this is very important, especially to myself, because depression not only comes into being sad and emotional and not wanting to do anything, it can also exhibit in anger or confusion or ulcers, actual, health problems, physical health problems, muscle pain, fatigue, sleep issues. All those are symptoms of depression. And I think a lot of people don't know about that, but if you realize that the person you're trying to support is just in a really bad mood, or they're not having it today, you just need to give them this space, their own space, and you need to tell them, okay, well, I'm here for you if you need me, and I understand you're going through some stuff, so just call me if you need me, okay? That's a very good thing to say to an irritable, depressed person. Now we're going to get into the things not to do. Things not to do is take what they say personally. Like we said in the last point, depressed people can have a bit of an attitude, and they may say something that's mean, or they may cancel on your plans, or they don't want to do much of anything. So, if something happens like that, you need to not take it personally. You need to understand where they're coming from, and they're probably beating themselves up as much as you are when they get angry or frustrated with you. Here is a major one, is don't try to fix them. Depressed people are not broken. Depression can be a severe medical health condition, and we need to start looking at it like that and not just feelings. There are people who develop depression because a loved one died. And if that's the situation, you can't just say, oh, well, that loved one is in a better place. Or don't try to think of the bad things. That doesn't really help with, I'm going to say, most people's type of depression. Here's another one that I find a lot of people do, even if it's not conscious, is they give people advice, which can be kind of demeaning, in my personal opinion, because you're trying to say, oh, well, this happened to me, so I understand that. No, you don't. Everyone's different. Everyone has their different life experiences. They don't need to hear about your things. They need to focus on them and make themselves better. The next one is kind of the same thing, which is don't minimize or compare their experiences. A lot of people tend to give advice while they compare experiences, and that's just not a good thing to do. Number 5 is don't take a stance on medication, which I can understand. A lot of people have strong opinions on depression and whether or not to treat it with medication or not. A lot of people don't think you need medication to help depression, and some cases you don't, and some cases you do. Not everyone is able to take the medication that doctors give out, and some are perfectly fine with it. It's just an individual thing. If you think your friend is considering suicide, you should ask your friend to contact the Suicide Prevention Hotline or text home and the crisis text line. I'll leave those numbers down in the description below. Don't forget, you can also take your friend to the emergency room if you think that they are in immediate danger of themselves. I hope this video helped anyone who is experiencing a friend with depression. Just try to be a good support system for them, and just love them, because they're still a person and they need you. Alright, this is going to be the end of my video. Let me know how you like this new format that I'm using. Tell me that in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video. Alright, bye.